Hey guys, it's Charlie. Gabby and I are so excited to be putting on this camp for you guys again. I know it's virtual, but we're going to make it super fun for you guys, and we're bringing back some old counselors, and we're adding some new ones, and we're adding art, which is such a cool class that you guys are going to have. So today's your first acting class, and I'm going to talk to you guys about what is a musical? And this is kind of a broad question, and it could have so many answers to it, but a very basic, simple term, or definition, I guess, is that a musical is a show that is put up on stage, and it has dancing and singing and acting in it, and yeah, that's basically what a musical is. And a lot of the big musicals happen out in New York in Times Square, and they're super, super duper cool. But I'm just going to talk to you about what they are and what they entail and stuff. So yeah, here we go. Okay, so a musical is different than a play. So there's a play, which is, acting, and it's kind of, just acting. And then you have a musical, which is adding some singing and dancing elements to it, which is what differentiates those two shows. Okay? So a musical, again, acting, singing, dancing, play, just acting. A musical, there are so many jobs that go into it, which Gabby is actually going to talk to you guys about in tomorrow's class. But yeah, so as I was saying earlier, a lot of the big Broadway shows happen in New York because that's where Broadway is. And what's super cool is that when you go to see these shows, I've seen a lot of shows out in New York. I've been very fortunate to see all those shows. And so when you go, you get their playbills from the theater that you attend to see the show. And so here are some of my favorite playbills that I own. This is what the Matilda one looks like. So it says playbill up here, and then it'll say what theater it's at, it was being performed at, and then the show and the title. And then when you open it up, let me find it, it has photos of every single cast member. How cool is that? So everyone's headshots, which you guys took last year, are all in the playbill, and they have the names, and they have bios for the people, which basically explains, what these actors or actresses have been in also, and, where they started, just little short, snippets about who they are. So it's really, really awesome. You get to look through these when you go and see the shows. It's really cool. This next one is Hamilton. Hamilton is so good. And this one I actually saw at the Pantages Theater out in LA. So I know that it wasn't in New York, but that's also a cool thing about musicals is that you have musicals that are based out in New York. They're on Broadway. And then you have national tour musicals, which are basically shows that have been on Broadway or are still on Broadway, but also want to travel around to different states and countries, to get other people to come see their shows, which is a super cool thing that shows will do. So this one I actually got to see in California, so I didn't have to travel anywhere, which was awesome. And this one, just like the other one, has the photos of the casts. Isn't that cool? So everyone's on here. And another thing with national tours versus just Broadway shows is you will have your original Broadway cast, which will, do the recordings for the songs so that people can hear them. Like when we did the song from The Greatest Showman last year, that was like the original people who came together and, performed it in the movie. So they did the recordings. So that's basically what happens with the actual Broadway cast, the original one. And then you have a national tour, which it isn't the same Broadway cast, obviously, but, there's still that part, and they still get to put it as a credit when they go to audition for different musicals. So that's a really cool fact, too. And then another awesome thing that happens when you get to go see a Broadway musical is there's something called a stage door. Now this is normally on like the side of a theater or something, and this is when the cast will come out after the show and you get to meet them and take photos with them and talk to them, and then you can ask them to sign your playbill. How cool is that? So I went to see Wicked. This was also at the Pantages Theater in LA, and I got some signatures on my playbill because I was able to stay after the show, and I was able to just talk to them and get to know them, and they, learn my name. It was so cool. Like, it was awesome. So that's also a super fun thing that shows will do, is that they will come out and meet all their wonderful fans afterwards. Okay. Yeah, so that's basically what a musical is in a nutshell, and you guys are going to learn about so much more throughout the next 2 weeks about musicals and the different jobs there are and how to audition. It's gonna be so much fun, and I'm so excited for you guys to take all the wonderful classes that are being taught. All right, well, I'm so happy that we're doing this. Bye, guys.